Welcome back to the French continuation campaign, and this time we are going to go beat up the USA. I think next up on the chopping block is going to be the United States. They are the only other nation that is very advanced, besides Germany, which is now completely neutered basically. And they have not a lot of ships, a lot of battleships, but nothing really else. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hopefully invade the East Coast. Let's go ahead and start pissing them off. And with our ships in position, the US have decided to declare war on us, and so it is time to go to war. And we are immediately going to launch a naval invasion. Let's just take Maine first. And the first battle of the war is against 6 poor US transports. Alright, our first real naval battle of the war. Let's just see what happens. Alright, light damage all the way down. I don't think anything was lost. We lost a destroyer and a torpedo boat. Not horrible. Oh, and here is yet another battle with probably the rest of their entire fleet. We lost a battleship, a light cruiser, 2 destroyers, and a whole bunch of torpedo boats. We don't even care about that. We sank their battle cruiser, 2 destroyers, and did a bunch of damage to their stuff. Yet another bit of the US fleet. Hopefully this is the last of really what they have. Unfortunately, they did intercept my fleet that I didn't really want them to intercept, but it's still a somewhat even fight. Oh my goodness, it was extremely one-sided. What even happened? Well, the US did try to ask for peace, but I said no, and now a bunch of their battleships have settled out to try and take on one of my slightly decent fleets. There we go. That is 3 of their battleships down, 1 lightly damaged, and a whole bunch of their heavy cruisers damaged as well. We did lose one of our battleships, one of us a slightly good one, and some heavy damage to the Terrible and the Magenta, but besides that, it's okay. And we have gained Maine. Finally, this is the first time I've ever played Dreadnoughts and actually taken some US territory that's on the mainland. This is absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and click Eastern USA. We need about 460,000 tons. Okay, interesting that we only have 1 battleship in this actual battle. It's the Admiral Polyworld himself against the Iowa Virginia class battleship. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to the Polyworld. Oh yeah, the Iowa sunk perfect and the Polyworld just took a little bit of damage. The United States is down to 8 battleships and they have really nothing left. There's also a battle down here, one of our battleships versus one of their battleships. Supposedly we should be able to win this. Yeah, there we go. Heavy damage. Okay, they keep coming out with these battleships, but I think it's finally about time that we obliterate them. Let's obliterate these last few battleships. I already did damage to them, so hopefully at the very least they'll be stuck in port for a while we do our naval invasions. We did lose quite a few lesser ships, but that's okay. And even more battleships with 1 single escort. Alright, Montana goes down, which is good. We lost some cruisers, but that's a worthwhile trade. Well, the Panama Canal just opened up, and I think that's probably going to be on my goal of taking, so... Oh yeah, and I think I forgot to mention the US is down to 2 battleships, 3 heavy cruisers, and 2 destroyers. Plus it looks like they're about to go to war with Germany and Spain. Not that any of those nations are any threat, but still. Oh my goodness, we have Venezuelan fleet versus the Denmark. Yeah, the Denmark fleet versus the Venezuelan fleet. The the Danish got destroyed by the Venezuelans. It looks like we did not get Eastern USA. Very sad, yet we failed the game. Go ahead, we're going to try Eastern again because now it's like 236,000 to take it for some reason. And at the perfect time, Germany has declared war on the United States of America. And the United States has gone to war with Spain as well. And then China has also gone to war with the US. Holy moly. I can't wait to lose so many torpedo boats to 1 single heavy cruiser. Yep, there they all go. And 2, we've actually launched a full-on foot assault from Maine into Eastern USA. I think this means that we gained Eastern USA. So let's go ahead and immediately start the next invasion. Also, I don't know how this happened, but the US is suddenly up to 13 battleships again. What the heck, man? So here we have a bunch of their Virginia-class battleships, a couple of Tungsten-class battleships as well, and one of their battlecruisers against a whole bunch of our battlecruisers and battleships. Also, chances are if you're watching this, you're probably not subscribed. So please subscribe. It's free. Helps me out a whole lot. And yeah, I appreciate it. 2 battleships gone for them, a heavy cruiser and a light cruiser. We lost 1 battleship, 2 battleships, a battle cruiser, heavy cruiser, so it doesn't look great for us in terms of victory points, but another battleship has sallied out, and I'm sure we can absolutely smite this thing into the ground. And it took a little bit of damage, but we took even less damage, so we're going to consider that a win. And here is a couple cruisers and destroyers versus a couple battleships. Holy moly, they did so much damage. We lost a light cruiser and a destroyer, but we sank 2 battleships and 3 cruisers. The United States is losing so many transports, it's actually insane. And apparently Japan has Formosa, but we have the southeastern seaboard finally. Oh my goodness, it took forever. But yeah, we've gained the Gulf Coast. So we now own basically 3/4 of the coast of the entirety of the United States of America. Now, to rush down here, invade Panama, and hopefully just a couple turns. Alright, that is Panama taken, and now I can actually sail my ships through here. We're only a couple turns away from taking the West Coast, and the United States are desperately asking for a peace treaty. No. Well, I guess I'm going to be here for a little bit longer. And the Texas has decided to come out and try and fight back for once. I haven't had any battles for like the past year, so this should be rather interesting. Okay, well, Texas is now going to be in port. Alright, literally the next turn, the Texas has arrived and is facing off against one of my huge battle fleets. I'm surprised it's still able to fight, but I guess time to auto-resolve it into the ground. Surprisingly, it's still alive. And the Texas comes out for one final thing, probably to sink the Mulhouse. We'll see how that goes. Actually not quite. Texas gets one more little bit of damage off. We get Western USA, and that is probably going to be the end of our war. Then we're going to come over here. We're going to go to the United States. We're going to push for a peace treaty. Okay, never mind. They want the war to keep going. I guess I'll have to push for peace again. Alright, it has been peace between France and the United States. Finally. USA is not even close anymore in GDP like they were before. Their growth is just lacking. Their ships are lacking. Everything's lacking. They're still very advanced, but so is Germany. But yeah, they really have nothing. And Germany's actually in a recession. And the next order of business is probably to take a look at finances and realize we are using 0 of our shipbuilding capacity, and we have over 300,000 tons to use. So let's go ahead and finally make some brand new ships. First things first, let's work on our new destroyer. How about we name it the something French, okay? There we go. That's I like the look of that name. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I'm not gonna try. Next up is the light cruiser. We do have this hull here, which I believe is the only good hull really, because we have this thing, which is, I don't even know what to make of this thing. Plus it's pretty slow. 23 knots is not really what I was looking for, so this one will definitely do much better. Can I get a little bit more range? I can, and so I will. I do like having range on light cruisers. Alright, next up, heavy cruiser. Same story-ish with the heavy cruiser. While the heavy cruiser hull that we have right now, the most advanced one, isn't amazing, we don't really have that many good alternates. Actually, the name it already has is probably good enough. I forgot to say that I named the light cruiser. That's okay. And so yeah, that's good enough. Let's move on to our capital ships. Alright, our battle cruisers. Last time we just made the flamer, which was kind of a really stupid flame design. So let's instead make a proper battle cruiser. Yeah, that's good enough. This is already super armored. Extremely armored, but not very damaging. We can go with that name, I think. I'll call it Brick, but that's not very original of me. Last but not least, the mighty battleship. I think we need to make an absolutely crazy big battleship. That is the Gascon, a huge battleship, almost 70,000 tons in the 1920s. Absolutely ginormo. Alright, well, let's save that design and let's start producing some of these ships. So basically, I've just kind of refit all these other ships to be 1919 tech, so they're actually somewhat useful. Let's go ahead and refit the Admiral Yulari first. I'm hoping Yulari will like what I've done to the Admiral Yulari. Well, it's a weird looking ship. Next up is the Admiral Polywhirl. So what we're going to go ahead and do is refit this. I see a lot of single barrel guns that surprisingly still fit. There we go, that gives me a little bit more range. Perfect. That is the Admiral Polywhirl. And one last little thing that I also want to do is design my own ship, the Admiral BroSilly. So I was thinking I had a few ideas. The first idea did actually involve a light cruiser. Yay, perfectly balanced. I love this type of ship. It's absolutely cheesy and sucks because I don't have the technology for it. Alright, second one I was considering would be a proper battle cruiser. I mean, it's a very cheap one. I don't know. I don't think I can make much of a bigger ship than I did with the, where is it, the Gascon. I mean, that probably should have been mine, but whatever. I'll make this the Admiral BroSilly. I've already spent so much time on it. Why not? A nice little cheap capital ship and something like that. The French Empire has beaten its most dangerous enemies and possesses the biggest fleet in the world that spans across the globe. The only question left is this: what now? The French rule the world, with no one nation able to stand against the might of the French naval power. But that's just it. It's not just one nation that wishes to take down the French Empire and cut them down to size. It's in fact every nation. The French has made enemies across the globe, and now it seems that the only solution is to take on all of these weak nations at once to prove that the French truly do rule the waves. But at least we have Belgium on our side.